Hi everyone, so I'm coming to do a let's make with you. I haven't done one in a while. So I made this journal yesterday and it was made from wallpaper, which is just white and it's embossed, as you can see, and I turned it into this. This is just, you know, if you can get hold of some wallpaper or you've got some and it's embossed, and I'm just going to show you like what I done to create this, only I'm not doing a kind of greeny colour. I'm going to try and do a pinkish colour, maybe with a hint of blue. So that's that one. It looks gorgeous. I love that green. So anyway, I went and got a very large sample from the DIY store. This was months ago, and what I'm going to start off doing is, obviously you would cut it. I'm doing a traveller's notebook size journal, which I've kind of cut one of the pages, so I know this is going to fit on there, you know, going to fit there pretty well. So whatever size journal cover you are doing, make sure you've cut a piece of wallpaper to fit the cover, because you don't want to sit and do all this and then discover that it's too small. Okay, bit of gesso, right? Just because it's embossed, I'm using the brush and I'm just kind of going around in circles to get into all the little nooks and crannies. The reason I haven't been doing lives is because I can't sit on the backside for too long, because my back has been playing up now and again, and my leg obviously, and I just, you know, I've got to keep getting up and walking around. You know, at least with these I can stop and start these as I please, but I'm hoping to try and get some lives done as soon as possible when my back and my leg and my foot allows it. Right, so just, I mean, you could sponge it on if you don't like using a brush. You know, if you've got a sponge, sponge it on. I just want to make sure that, you know, it's got a good like undercoat of gesso. If you don't have gesso, you can use some white acrylic paint, or you could even try a little bit of, say, house paint, maybe in a matte finish or something like that, rather than like a, you know, like a satin or a silk finish. Right, this is just so relaxing to me, just doing that. I don't need to keep doing that, but the noise is nice. Right, so I'm going to dry this and I shall be back. Okay, so that's all nice and dry now. So I'm only just putting the one, there's a couple of little wet patches, but I'm not particularly worried about that. So I'm going to come in, I need to stand up. I'm just looking for some of my pinkish coloured paints that I should have looked at before. Right, I like this one. Okay, and a bit of blue. I'm going to add a little bit of blue. These are all just made up sprays that I've done with my acrylics, some water, and then a little tiny bit of alcohol. I haven't, because I know people can do it just like with lots of alcohol. I've only put a tad in because I don't like the smell of it. Funny like that. And then this is Peril Blush, and it's got a nice shine to it, and I possibly will use a little bit of coffee spray as well. This colour here is, if anyone's interested, Lagoon, I think it's called. Can't find it now, but if you, oh yeah, that's it there, it is, it's Lagoon. It's lovely, that. So anyway, right. I need to find a, I haven't got this, well I did have this in a spray, but it doesn't really show up in a spray, so I'm just going to paint it on. And I'm going to get my, I've got a little old acrylic block thing here that I just pour my paint onto. Don't know if you can actually see that there. No, you can't. No, you can't. So I'm just going to put it there. Just put on a little bit at a time because I don't know how much I'm going to use. So with that, again, I'm just going to swirl it around. It's a little bit too pinkish for me, but I am gonna add other colours to it. I don't want it all the same, so I'm not, you know, I don't want it all like completely covered, if you know what I mean. I'm just here and there. I'm making sure I do a good amount all around the edges, just in case I use that particular part to cover my journal. I will also be using a little bit of this metallic titanium gold acrylic paint, just to go over the embossed bits at the end. So I hope everyone is having a good day. We are having some really strange weather here. You know, the sun is literally splitting the trees, and then it's raining. And we had thunderstorms in certain parts of the country yesterday. Crazy, crazy weather for me. Okay. Again, if you prefer, you could use like a sponge, you know, maybe a natural sponge or something like that to splodge it all on. There we go. So you can still see there's white underneath there. So I'm just going to give this a quick dry, and then I'm going to come in and do some coffee spraying on it. Okay, so that's nice and dry. It is a little bit too pink for me, but I'm going to tone it down at the end, I think. Okay, so that's just some coffee in there. If you don't have spray bottles, then you can just use a brush or something with some coffee or tea dyed water. This will just, on the white pieces, this will just obviously give that a little bit of a vintagey tone. Vintagey, is that even a word? Vintagey. So I managed to buy another book today. I've just literally been notified that I've won it. Another cheapy one at 99p. It's another dictionary. It's an old one. So I'll get that in a few days. I'm still waiting on my Chinese dictionary. I got my Spanish one. Showed that in yesterday's video on my journals. Okay, so I'm just gonna... Yeah, I kind of like that because it's not, I don't want it white in the background, unless, you know, if you want that white, you don't have to do this process at all. I think I'm going to go out at the weekend and see what other lovely embossed papers that I can get my hands on. So I'm just going to dry this quickly and I'll be back. Okay, so that's the coffee spray done. Now I'm going to just lay this down a minute just to see how blue this is going to be. Because this is quite a strong blue. If you hold it up, yeah, that's okay. Because if you can see, if you do it like that, how blue it can be. So I'm going to hold that up a little bit and just spray. Because the papers that I'm using, they have got little bits of blue and pink in it. This is Floral Collage from ARTYmaze. Obviously this page is mainly pink, but there's that blue in there that I think I want to let, you know, adapt into the cover. And if it's a bit too blue, if you know what I mean, you can just dab away at it. So I'm going to be adventurous and do a little bit more. Scares me when I do that because I know that I can, you know, gesso over it. What was it Andrea ARTYmaze said the other day? If in doubt, get the gesso out. I thought that was classic. I thought that was really, really funny. You know, if you don't like it, get the gesso out. So that's got my little bit of a blue in there, which kind of looks a little bit greenish, but it's hard to see with all these lights on. I've got 3 lamps shooting down on this. Yeah, so that's actually pretty good. Right, let's pop that in there. And I'm going to add a little bit of this, which is the metallic titanium gold acrylic paint. Just going to put a little daub there And I'm just going to go in with my finger. So I'm going to, you see, I hope you can see what I'm doing there. Dabbing it. And then I'm just kind of going over like the embossed pieces. Very, very gently. I'm not like squishing down on it. There's, in this particular wallpaper, even on the embossed bits, there's little bumpy bits, and it really does pick up on the, oh, a little bit too much there. It does pick up on the, when you put the paints on it, like the little bubbles. I'll kind of try and take a photo and show you, like, either at the beginning of this video or the end of this video. Because obviously I'm going to be I'm doing this in sections so that I can add it onto iMovie if it lets me. Everything's temperamental at the moment. Computer just like went crazy the other day and started shutting itself down, and we had to get install the new Windows onto it again, and it still isn't working properly, the computer. We lost like a few bits and bobs. It's a total nightmare, but thankfully I keep all my stuff now on a OneDrive online, so that when things like that do happen, because they do happen when computers, and you know, I had, before the OneDrive that I use, I had everything stored on an external hard drive, and that one day it decided not to work and I lost everything. And luckily, you know, if you've got Etsy purchases and things, you can go back in and you can re-download them. And it's a good idea, if you do buy digitals and things like that, that you, like, maybe not from Etsy, keep the emails with the download link in a separate folder on your emails. Like, create a little folder saying like digitals or something like that, and keep it there, just in case. This crazy world of technology can be a right pain in the backside at times. This probably takes the longest when you're doing it, just going over it with the I mean, if you've got like Inca Gold, I had Inca Gold and things like that, but it all dried up and couldn't use it. It went solid, and I tried all the little tricks to you know, try and soften it up again. Nope, it didn't work, so I just binned it. And I'd only used it like a couple of times and then never used it for years, and then when I wanted to use it, it was solid. So that's why I prefer the paints. A little bit more of that, and what I'll do is, when I dry all this, I will sew it all onto the cover, and I will show you it on the cover. And then I'm going to crack on and get the journal finished. This is just very relaxing to me. There we go, let's see. Oh, I love that. Put more gold on. You don't have to use gold, you can use any colour you like. I'm just using it because that's what I've got. There we go. It needs a really good wash, that does. Okay, so I'm going to go and dry this, and then I'm going to sew it onto the cover, and I will show you it done. Right, before I sew that onto my cover, right, so it's all dry, I'm just going to show you quickly. Alright, so I'd measured my cardstock, because I've got a few layers here and a thick book page and coffee dyed page there. Then that thick wallpaper is going to go on the top. Now, because it is nice and thick, I'm only doing 3 with that on the top, which will make it 4. But if that was really thin wallpaper, I would probably use 4 sheets of like coffee being the inside, book page, and then cardstock. Right, so when I find my middle piece, I score down there, then I score that side, which is, let me see, That is 1, 2, 3/8. So from the middle piece to there is, I score it at 3/8 away from there and 3/8 away from there. Or if you've got a scoreboard, what I normally do is fold the piece of card in half. That finds me my center piece, and I'll go to the 6-inch mark and I will score down there, and then just go 1, 2, 3 across and 1, 2, 3 across and down. Just thought I'd explain that because I get asked that quite a lot about the covers and things like that. So I'm going with what I will do now, right, is you can use whatever, as this is all going to get sewed, it's going to be sewn together. I'm just going to put some glue stick on there that will hold it all in place, and then in between each layer, just down the spine, I have put a little run of that just to hold it all together, and it works fine. Okay, little blob of glue there. Right, I know I've got a straight edge somewhere, she says, but I'm not really bothered. I'm just going to lay that down like that, and I have got a straight edge, just depends on how much I've gone up on there. So I'm just going to do that, press that down, like so, and then I will cut all around the edge and go and sew that. So there we have it, all sewn. Signature will be sewn in just like that, and then where I've done the score marks either side, once that's sewn in, I just kind of manipulate that to sit like that. Obviously, like I said, once it's sewn in, I think I've got videos showing you, well, I've done video tutorials and showing you how to sew a signature in, so that will just sit in there like so. So there we go. And this one I might put a topper on, cover most of it up after putting all the paint on it. So there we go, a nice quick and easy way to create a journal cover using wallpaper. If you have any questions, just ask, and thanks for watching. Bye.